To respect the people who have already joined, we are going to start. This is the East, Central, and South Africa Excel Forum, brought to you by CrispExcel Training and Consulting. To support the webinars, please visit our YouTube channel and you can go and see the other master classes, and you can also subscribe. Today we still have our mystery presenter, and the topic for today is for the beginners, is Python in Excel for Dummies. So without wasting more time, Ellen, I think we can start.
All right, so good evening, good day to everyone from Africa. And okay, my name is Alan and I'm from Malaysia. So of course, today I'll be teaching on Python in Excel. So if you can hear me, maybe you can just type number 1 in the chat box. Okay, because just want to show that, ensure that the connection. Yeah, you can just show thumbs up or you can type number 1 in the chat box. And if you can see the screen, maybe you can type number 2 in the chat box. Okay, so thank you for typing number 1. So maybe we can type number 2 or you can show thumbs up. Okay, you may be wondering that why we are typing number 1 and number 2 in the chat box. I think Crispo, you can mute, I think.
Yes, let me mute.
Okay, so thank you, Crispo. Okay, so you might be wondering why I'm asking our friends to type number 1 and number 2, because I'm teaching this online. So to ensure that our education, our training goes smoothly, because not everyone has the same internet connection. So off and on, I will ask you to type number 3 and number 4 to ensure that all of us on the same page. All right, so let's get started. Hello everyone, I hope you can hear me. So today we will learn on Python in Excel. Python means how we can use Python. There are so many things. We can create chart, we can actually clean data. But today's course is dedicated for Python for data analysis. It's interesting, fascinating, but I'm going to teach you this. But before we talk about Python, we need to understand that not every Excel have Python. I'm going to go here. So what we're going to type here is Python in Excel. Not every Excel have Python. So let us decode which Excel have Python. Excel 365. Not 2016. Not 2019. Not even 2021. If you are talking about Excel 365, if you're using the version of Excel 365, there is a possibility that you will have Python in your Excel. So for example, how to know what version you're using? You can actually refer to file and refer to account. So when you refer file and account, what you can actually do is you go here, you go to file. Once you click file, you can actually go to account. Once you click account, on your right hand side, you will know what version of Excel you're using. So here will indicate that you are using Microsoft 365 and what version it is, current channel or semi-current channel and so on. So if you're using 365 and you're using current version 2505, you are actually eligible and enabled to use Python. But if just say you don't have the latest version, it's okay. Don't worry. I can actually showcase to you what Python can offer. So today's course is dedicated for data analysis using Python. So now let me just go over here. So I'm going to put here equal and I'm going to type here py. So my dear friends, can you see here py? If you can see py, can you type number 3 in the chat box? Okay, or you can show thumbs up as well. Maybe you can type number 3 in the chat box if you can see. So thank you friends for typing number 3. So this one I put here equal py. That means we want to create a Python formula. So I'm going to press here tab. And then what it will show is, it will show Python. Okay, so when I click or I press tab, it will show Python. So the first code I'm going to do is, I want to highlight this table. Okay, I'm going to highlight this table. You cannot press Ctrl A, because if you press Ctrl A, it doesn't work. You need to actually go to the top corner, top left, Ctrl Shift down, Ctrl Shift right, so that it highlights the entire table. If you look over here, we have the area A1 to B23. And our headers shows equal to true. So now what I want to do is I want to show you what Python can do. So I'm going to put here full stop and I'll start with head. Okay, what is head? Head means it's the top data. So you just say I want to know maybe the first two row. So open bracket, number 2, close bracket. Okay, so head means is indicate the top data. Okay, the first two row. And you see here, I cannot press control enter. What I need to do is I press control enter. So when I press control enter, you will notice it will show data frame. In Python, data frame means it's a table loaded in Python. A table that has column, a table that has rows, a table that has header. But what I want to show you all is, I need to click it over here and I want to expand it to Excel value. So my dear friends, can you type number 4 or can you show thumbs up if you can see the Excel value? Can you see this? Okay, you can show thumbs up or you can type number 4. Okay, I'm going to click here Excel value. Once I click Excel value, you will notice right here, it will show you the first two rows. Okay, so let me just write this formula text. I'm going to press this enter. You see, what is this formula? This formula indicates that it shows the first two row of a table. Okay, what if just say I show you, what if just say I want maybe 5? So I put it over here, I press and backspace, number 5. I need to press control enter. I cannot press enter, I need to press control enter. So when I press control enter, you will notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5 data. Okay, it will show you the first 5 data. Okay, maybe let me show you. What if just say I want to know the last data? Okay, I want to show the last rows. If you want to show the last rows, now let us see the magic. Equal py, so that it will create the Python formulas. You can click here, double click, or you can press tab. And then after that, I highlight this table. And then I press full stop. And then if just say I want to know the last rows, I put here tail. Can you see your tail? If you can see tail, can you show thumbs up or fire emoji? Okay, so basically what I want to know is I want to get the last rows, maybe the last 5 or last 2 and so on. Open bracket, 2, close bracket, control enter. You cannot press enter. If you press enter, it doesn't work. So you need to press control enter. And then you just go to this Python object, you expand to Excel value. So here will show you the last two rows, these two. If just say you want to know maybe the last 5, and it will show you the last 5 rows. Okay, but now this one is not actually applicable in real working world. In real working world, sometimes we need to do data analysis, we need to understand the data. Okay, so maybe let me write the formula. So the formula text is, this is actually the formula. Okay, so this one is to determine the last 5 rows and so on. In the real working world, one thing is they will use describe to actually understand the statistical analysis. So now I'm going to put here equal py tab. Okay, so what I want to do is right now is I actually want to highlight the table first. So you cannot press Ctrl O, you need to press Ctrl Shift down and then Shift right. Full stop and describe. So this one is a very famous argument, famous function, because describe will actually provide a statistical analysis of a particular numerical column. So I'm going to press here tab, open bracket, close bracket. And you see here, the last thing is normally we press enter for VLOOKUP, if formula, sum if, but for Python, it is always control enter. So when I press control enter, I need to expand it, Excel value. So what happens is it will provide when it comes to describe. Okay, let me just show the formula. So describe means it will analyze, provide statistical analysis of a numerical columns in a table. You see here, if you see here, we have a RM. Okay, in Malaysia, I'm from Malaysia. So Malaysia, we use RM as our currency. So what is count? Count means we have about 22 items. And then this is the mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum. So these data will show us a statistical analysis of a numerical column. Numerical column means all the numbers. Okay, now let me go to the next step part so that to make you understand how actually Python can provide an analysis of a given table. So I'm going to put here equal py. Okay, because our course is really to learn about Python. Python for dummies, Python for beginner. I'm going to press here tab. So always remember we need to highlight the table. So I'm going to highlight the table, Control Shift down, Control Shift right, full stop, describe. So describe is basically providing a simple analysis of a given table. So I'm going to press your tab, open bracket, close bracket. If I want to execute, I press Control Enter. And when I press Control Enter, of course, here we have data frame. I need to expand this, go to Excel value. And what does it show is it provides a statistical analysis of the numerical columns. The horsepower, the price, we get to know what is the count. There are about 59 items. What is the average? What is the minimum? What is the maximum? So describe is very, very useful for us to analyze of a given table. But what if just say I want to analyze for a segment? I want to know like, okay, not only it can describe a table, it can also describe the particular column as well. So for example, I'm going to put here equal py. So why equal py? Because we are learning, our course name is Python. So we are going to press here equal py because like normally for VLOOKUP, if formula, sum if, we write equal sum if. For Python, we just put equal py. And then I press tab. Okay, in your keyboard, you have the control button, shift button. So we are going to press tab. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I just want to highlight this table. Okay, highlight this table. And then what I'll do is I'll just put here a special bracket, apostrophe, because the name of this column, just now I analyzed the table. Now I want to analyze the column called segment. So I'm going to write here segment, capital S, E-G, M-E-N-T. And then close apostrophe, close bracket, full stop, and describe. Open bracket, close bracket. So what happened is it will try to describe, it will provide an analysis for the segment column. So when I press Control Enter, so here it will show series. Data frame means it's a table. Series means it's only a particular column. So I'm going to expand this to Excel value. What happened is this one here, it will actually provide an analysis for a particular column. Analyze the particular column. So in this case, our column name is segment. Segment, you see, got 22 items. So I highlight here, we have 22 different items. We have about 5 unique items. That means price, sponsorship, broadcasting, player transfer, and ticket attendance. So 5 different items. Top means which is the highest. The highest is broadcasting, which has about a frequency of 9 times. So this case, we will actually analyze the particular column using describe. Okay, and this one is very sensitive. You see here, the word here is segment. If just say I put small s, okay, because segment is capital S. If I put here small letter s and Control Enter, you will notice that you will have an error. Why? Because the error, because when you type a VBA code, normally when there's a wrong VBA code, it will show debug error. Same thing in Python, the Python editor here will show you error because here the segment is SEG, capital S, and here is small s. Okay, so that's a question in the chat box. Okay, must I always highlight the table? Yes, you can actually highlight table, or you want to put DF also can. Okay, that's the first question is, you can also put DF, later I'll show you. The second thing is, what will be the potential benefits of using Python with Excel over Pandas? Okay, because Python is actually incorporated in your Excel, and based on this, you can actually build charts, you can clean data and so on. I'll answer your question in detail in a while. Okay, but nevertheless, I'll try to proceed. Okay, so in this case, what I'm trying to show to you is, if just say you don't really follow the case, because here is capital S, here is small s, you have an error. And if just say I put here capital S, but I change the spelling to maybe SA, because segment is SE, I put here SA. and I press Control Enter, you will notice still you have an error. Okay, so in this particular context, what we learn is whenever we want to write the column name, we have to actually make sure that the spelling and the case is important. Because if just see the spelling is wrong, the spacing is wrong, and the case is wrong, you are not able to actually capture the data. Okay, so of course, yeah, the questions in the chat box is why we always highlight. Okay, of course, as a beginner, I'm showing first. We can actually write DF, but for a beginner, I'll start highlighting first. Later, we will show DF. DF means data frame, or you can also use any other variable as well. The second question is in the chat box, if you notice, why we can use Excel in Python over Pandas library. That one also I'll answer in a while. Okay, so before that, can you type number 5 in the chat box if you roughly understand on what is Python in Excel? Okay, because Python, we can show head, but this one is not so important. What the importance is, we can use Python to make data analysis. Okay, so before that, can you just type number 5 in the chat box so that if we can proceed, or you can show thumbs up emoji. Okay, so I'm going to show you next. The next thing that I'll teach you is actually, okay, here is indicates what? It analyze a particular column. What we can also do is we can actually count how many data. Meaning to say, I'm going to put here equal py, and then I'm just going to press here tab, and I want to highlight all this, full stop. And then what I want to do is actually, not full stop. I'm going to put here segment. Okay, so you have to make sure the spelling is correct. And this time I don't want to describe. I want to show values count. Okay, because you see here it provides a simple analysis of a particular column. What is value count? Value count is it will count what is the number of times the segment appear. So I'm going to press here tab, control, open bracket, close bracket. And then I'm going to press shift, control enter. So when I press control enter, of course, it will show you series. I'm going to click here, expand to Excel value. So what happened is, this time, it will show you how many times the quantity appear. So I'm going to put here, formula text. Okay, and yeah. So what does it mean? This one, it will count the number of times segment appear. Like broadcasting 9 times, ticket attendance 7 times, price is 4 times, sponsorship and player transfer 1 time. Okay, so if just say you want to actually know about sum, okay, like you see pivot table, we have sum. Okay, you can also use that in your Python as well, but in this case we will use the word group by. Okay, I'm going to put it over here. Okay, of course normally I show you equal py, but what is the keyboard shortcut to put equal py? The keyboard shortcut is Control Shift Alternate P. Okay, Control Shift Alternate P is basically the keyboard shortcut to insert Python. Control Shift Alternate P, you need to use your 2 hands and 4 fingers to enable Python. So of course, I'm going to show still the beginning. We highlight all this table. Okay, so this case, what I want to show you is how we can actually use group by. Okay, so I'm going to put here full stop, group by. I got issue what is described. I got issue what is value count. But this time I want to show you group by. So I'm going to press here group by, and I want to group by segment. Okay, segment. And then what is my values column? My values column is RM. Okay. And then after that, I put a full stop. I want to know sum. The sum of each segment. And if I want to enable it, I press Control Enter. And just like that, when I expand it, it will actually show me what is the sum for each segment. Okay, so the thing about Python is it can actually provide a data analysis, either describing a particular column, describing a table, or show the values count, how many times the segment appear. It can also do the same for the segment itself, like a pivot table, to calculate the sum of each segment. So let me just copy this and paste it over here. So now this is the formula. This one is actually, it will show the sum summary for each segment. So if just say you don't want sum, you can actually put max as well. So for example, max, Control Enter. So it will show you the highest of each segment. So my friends, did you learn something new? If you learn something new, can you type number 6 in the chat box, or can you show thumbs up? Okay, so if you have any questions, don't worry, you can type your questions in the chat box first, then later I'll answer your questions one by one. Okay, so I'll show the notes later so that to give you an understanding. Okay, so now we know there's max and there's sum. What if just say I want to show everything in one go? That means I want to show sum, count, and everything. Okay, so wait, let me just expand this. Wait, let me go here. Okay, so let me just show you now. So I'm going to put here equal py, highlight all this. Okay, and then I'm going to put here full stop, group by, open bracket, and I'm going to write here segment, and then special bracket, because this one I want to group by segment. The values will be RM. So special bracket, RM. Okay, and then what I'm going to do next is I want to actually show sum, mean, max, and so on. So in this case, I'll just use here full stop, AGG. Okay, so my dear friends, can you see AGG? If you can see AGG, can you show thumbs up, or can you type number 7 in the chat box? So AGG means it's the aggregate. So in this case, if you say I want to show sum, max, mean, so I'm going to press here AGG, and then I'm going to put here open bracket. Okay, so what I want to do is I actually want to show y'all the sum. Okay, and then maybe the max, then the mean, minimum, and then average or mean, and counts. Okay, and then I close the apostrophe, I close the special bracket, and I close bracket. Now when I press Control Enter, okay, so of course here will show you error. Okay, let us see what's the error, because we can't do counts. Okay, maybe instead of count, I remove the S. Okay, and Control Enter. So now if just say I expand this and go to Excel value, so what it really shows is, okay, maybe this one is blocking. Let me just go here. Okay, so if what you're looking right now is, it will show you the sum, it will show you the maximum, minimum, average, and count. So basically this is the Python formula for you to understand the sum, the max, the minimum, and average and count for each segment. Okay, so let me write down this formula so that everybody can understand. Okay, so my friends, can you see this formula? If you can see this formula, can you show thumbs up, or can you type number 7 in the chat box? Okay, so don't worry, in today's session, we will actually try to learn, I think, about 10 different Python codes. Today's session, we will try to learn 10 different Python codes. Okay, all right, so now let us do one more time so that we can just understand what else we can do. We can also actually, sort the data, or maybe show the largest, or even we can also filter as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do next is, I want to actually show you how we want to show the top 2 data or top 3 data. Okay, so I'm going to put here equal py. So this one I do equal py. The keyboard shortcut is Control Shift Alt and P. Control Shift Alternate P. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put here equal, Control Shift Alternate P. So we'll show the Python formula. And then I highlight all this data. Okay, full stop, group by. So group by means like a pivot table where you can group the data according to the particular column and values. Open bracket. Okay, so now I'm going to write here segment. Okay, and I want to group the segment by values. So my values is RM. Okay, and I'm going to close the special bracket, and I want to group this, okay, using the sum. And I don't want the sum only, I also want to know maybe the top 2. So I use n largest. So my friends, can you see here n largest? If you can see n largest, can you type number 8 in the chat box, or can you show thumbs up? So n largest is basically knowing the top 2 or top 3 data. So I'm going to press here n largest, open bracket, and maybe I want to know the top 2. Close bracket, Control Enter, and just like that, it will show you the top 2 data. So these 2 is the top 2. If just say I want to know the top 3, Control Enter, it will show me the top 3 data. So meaning to say, interesting part is Python, we can actually do group by, we can describe a table, we can calculate the sum, we can do value count, and so on. Okay. All right. So now let us go to the next part so that you can actually understand the data very well. So this data in part 3, we do have employee name, we do have employee ID, we have the states, we have insurance claim, we have the RM. So what I'm going to teach you, the first thing is describe. Okay, equal, and then py. I want to highlight all this. And then what I do is I put full stop, describe. So I think you roughly understand. I got show you in the previous example, even in this current example as well. Describe is basically will provide a statistical analysis of a particular table, but it will not analyze all the column. It will analyze the numerical column. So I'm going to press your tab, open bracket, close bracket, control enter. It will show you data frame. Data frame is normally in table format. So I'm going to expand this to Excel value. So what happened is it will show you the statistical analysis of this table, like count, what is the average, the lowest, the maximum, and so on. So describe means, I'm going to write here, describe is actually for providing statistical analysis. The word statistical means like average, minimum, count, maximum. Statistical analysis of numerical columns. Numerical columns means we are talking about like the numbers column, the column that does not have text. Like employee name, insurance claim, and state, it have text. The column that has numbers is employee ID, date, and also RM. So provide statistical analysis of numerical column. That is number one. Number two, we can also use describe, to analyze a particular column. Okay, for example, over here, I want to analyze the states. So this one is actually the location of Malaysia, the states in Malaysia. So I'm going to put here equal py. I highlight all this table. Okay, and then I put a special bracket. You see here, special bracket, states. You have to make sure the spelling is correct. And then after that, close bracket, describe. Open bracket, close bracket. You cannot press enter. You need to press control enter. So control enter. Okay, so of course here we have the data. So when I press Excel value, it will actually analyze the states. So we notice that we have about 292 states, 8 unique states, 8 different states. The highest being Selangor with a frequency of 40. So describe can use to analyze a particular column or the numerical columns. It gives you some basics insights. So my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show thumbs up or can you type number 9 in the chat box? Okay, so I'm going to copy this formula. Maybe I'll just put it in the PowerPoint so that everybody can understand. Okay, so I got write a PowerPoint over here. So this one is basically used to provide statistical analysis of a table, but only analyze the numerical columns, column that has numbers like date and values. Okay, date and values, not text column. Okay, now if just say I'm going to go here. Okay, so this one also I copy. Okay, this one is actually to provide an analysis. Okay, provide a brief analysis for a particular column. The particular column means states. So ensure the spelling, spacing, and case is correct. So if just say you have additional s or small s, it will show you error. Okay, again I repeat, if just say I put here small s, control enter, so you'll show error. Okay, so far okay, my dear friends, maybe can you show thumbs up if you understand? So basically you need to make sure that there is no spelling mistakes and there is no wrong letters and so on. So this one state means capital S. You must follow the correct as per the data. Okay, so then you'll have the data. Okay, so I'm going to go it over here. So now this one is basically to provide analysis of a particular column, showing, okay, what does it shows? showed number of data. That means like over here, if you notice, we have about 292 number of data, 8 different items. Unique means how many different items, like Power Query, it can show you how many unique items and who is the highest. So a brief summary of a particular column. Okay, but if just say you want to actually know the number of states, okay, so we put here equal py. So like what your friend has done in the chat box, yes, we can use df in state, but this case for a beginner, I'll just still highlight the table, highlight all this table, and then what I want to do is I put here bracket, special bracket, states. Okay, just now I used describe, if you remember, but now I'm going to write here value count. So my dear friends, can you show thumbs up if you can see the word here value count? Value count means it will try to count how many states. Okay, open bracket, close bracket, control enter. And just like that, it will show you series, not a data frame, because it will appear like a series. And over here, what happened is it will show you the number of states, 40 and 33 and so on. Okay, so this one, what does it mean? This one means it will count the number of data. Okay, so it will count, it will show a summary of a particular column and number of times it appears in the table. Okay, my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show thumbs up? Okay, so I got issue. The first thing is describe. I got show you describing a particular column. I got show you instead of describe, we can actually show basically the number of times a particular column or particular data appear. So now let me show you another one. So I got teach you these 3 different codes. Now let us go another. We maybe want to understand, like for example, like a pivot table, want to show the grouping, the sum for each states. So equal py, or the keyboard shortcut is Control Shift alternate P. So the keyboard shortcut is Control Shift alternate P. So Control Shift alternate P, so that it will enable Python. Highlight all this. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to do group by. Full stop, group by. Okay, and then open bracket, I put here states. Okay, make sure the spelling is correct. So this is the data that I want to group according to the states. You need to follow special bracket because I want to actually show the values special bracket, which is RM, and I want to put by sum. Open bracket, close bracket. Control enter. And then what happened is it will actually show you. Okay, let me just go here and go here. So what happened is it will show you the sum of each states. Like how pivot table, it can show the summary of each states, the sum. Same thing also, these data also can show. So let me just highlight all this. Okay, so this one. Okay, so basically shows the sum summary for each states. Okay, or each particular criteria or particular category. Here states because over here is a states column. So it will show you the sum of each states. So if just say I put here, okay, instead of just say states, I want to maybe know the minimum. So I can just put here MIN, control enter. So it will show you the minimum. If I want to know maximum, MAX, control enter, will show you maximum. If just say I want to know average, control enter, it will show you average. So my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show thumbs up and can you type number 1 in the chat box? Okay. All right. So now let me go next one. You see here, I got show you what is sum. Sum means it will show you the sum for each states. But what if just say I want to show the top 5, top 3 data to my manager? So full stop and largest. Okay. If just say you want smallest is n smallest. If just say you want largest is n largest. And largest, okay, maybe this case I want to know the top 5 data. So number 5, close bracket, control enter. And just like that, it will show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the top 5 data. If just say you want to know top 3, control enter. That means it will show you the top 3 data. If just say you want to know smallest, so maybe the bottom three, control enter, and it will show you the three smallest states. So my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show thumbs up? So let me just copy this, okay, and show you all. All right, so this one we roughly understand. This one I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so this one is actually to show the top three or bottom three data. If you want to show largest, you use n largest. Okay, for smallest is n smallest. Okay, so now don't worry, this data I'll actually give to you. In fact, I have a better notes that I can share to you. Okay, so now this is done. Okay, so I got roughly show you, you roughly understand. If just say I want to show a summary like sum, maximum, minimum, you use aggregate. So equal py, and then you highlight all this, and then you put your full stop, group by. Okay, group by is like pivot table. You can group the data. Open bracket, I want to group by states. And then close bracket, special bracket. Okay, special bracket for the value. So I put here RM. Make sure the spelling in case is correct. I do AGG. Okay. And then after that, open bracket, special bracket for sum. And then for max. And for min. And minimum. Okay. If you want to put count also can. Okay. So apostrophe count. Close the special bracket. And close the bracket, control enter. So now what happen is, if just say I expand, so it will show you a table. So it will provide the summary, the sum, the max, the minimum, mean, and also count. So my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show thumbs up? Okay, so wait, let me just go over here and let me just space. Yes, we can also create chart as well. Okay, so yeah, we can create charts in this Python as well. So I have the codes, I can actually show you. Okay, so let me just recap. I'll answer the questions in a while. Let me just, okay. So here we understand, I got tissue. What is describe? Describe is basically to analyze a table. Describe, analyze a column. You can use this. To show the sum of entire table, yes, we have this. To show value count, I got tissue. To sort data, we have also a code. So because the question in the chat box is how we can actually create a code dedicated for printing a chart. So in this case, if you want to prepare a chart, I also have the codes over here. Okay, I can show you. Okay, where is the notes? Okay, so it's over here. So this is the notes where you can actually prepare a chart. So my friends, can you see the notes? Because in the questions, if you notice here, there is a question in the chat box. They ask me, can we create charts the same way we do in Excel? To answer your question, actually, we can also create a chart. That means we can actually put the states report. Okay, just now our friend asks us, we can actually write DF or AB. So these are actually one of the codes that can be used to write Python. But for now, we just focus on the basic Python because we also have beginners as well. So in this color context, I actually got show you what is the beginners. So beginners means I got issue this. This one is actually to describe, analyze a table. I got actually tissue this. So I will just put it as yellow color. I also got tissue this whereby we got, wait, let me just highlight properly. So this one where we analyze a particular column like segment, how many times, what is the unique items, who is the highest frequency. I got tissue this. Okay, this one I haven't issued yet. I'll show you later. This one over here, number 4, I got show you the count of each data. How many times it appear. So I'll just stick it over here. This one also I got to show you. That means the group by like pivot table, show the sum for each category or minimum average for each category. Okay, and then I also got issue this, whereby we can also use aggregate or we want to know the top largest category. Okay, so I got issue about more than 5 different codes. So now let us go and tackle the sum codes that I want to teach you. Okay, so now you roughly understand that with Python, basically we can actually describe like statistical analysis, we can analyze a column, we can also show value count. Now let us go deep dive for the other Python codes as well. So let's get started. Okay, so now in this case, what I want to do is I want to actually analyze this table. Okay, wait, let me just insert some rows. Okay, so I'm going to put here equal py. Okay, so if you notice, some of our friends, they ask, the first question they ask is why I never put the df. Okay, you can also put df, and then you can put here equal, and then you can actually highlight this table, and then you can actually press Control Enter. So in this case, you see here, initially, like one of our friend, they type in the chat box, they ask why I never put df. Why every time I'm highlighting the table, here so I highlight the table, here so the highlight table. Of course, for a beginner, I'm showing you, we highlight the table. As we proceed to the next level, the basic and intermediate level, we don't have to highlight the table every time. Instead, we can actually put like equal df, or we can also put a random variable like abc or abcd and press enter. Okay, Control Enter. So automatically what happen is they will recognize that this table is abcd. So if just say I put here equal py abcd. So abcd means it refer to this particular data frame. And then I can put here full stop, describe. Control, open bracket, close bracket, Control Enter. So actually what happened is ABC, you don't have to, next time when you want to highlight a table, you don't have to highlight the table every time. Okay, but just now why I highlight table is basically to show you as a beginner what we can actually offer. We can provide a statistical analysis, we can actually show value count, but in the real working world, you can actually use ABC or DF or any variable. Okay, so if just say I want to actually analyze the RM, because RM is the sum column. So I'm going to put here special bracket, apostrophe, you must make sure correct letters and Control Enter. And then what happen is it will show you the analysis of RM. So that means like how many RM? We have about 292 items. What is the average? What is the minimum? What is the maximum? And if just say you want to count, that means you want to actually calculate the sum of RM, like what pivot table can do. So you can just type here sum, Control Enter. And just like that, it will show you the sum of data. So if just say I highlight all this, over here is 419,000. So the same thing also it can show you. It can show you the sum of data. Okay, so my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show thumbs up? Okay. All right. So thank you for showing thumbs up. So now let us go to the next thing. So if just say I want to actually sort the data. Okay. All right. So maybe I'll just wrap this, or maybe I'll save this as version 2. Okay. I'll put here as version 2. Okay. So this one, maybe I close this file because I want to open, I want to do a clean particular file. Okay. So I'll just go to this initial data. Okay. So I'll do a simple example because this is a Python for beginners. I have to make sure that everyone get a simple understanding. Okay, the thing about Python is it will not sequence accordingly. Okay, there is some tricky things that I need to educate everyone. Okay, so just say I want to actually show to my manager what items is actually the top 5. Just now we see that it can group the data, but how you just say I want to do a top 5 data, a top 5 line items. Okay, so this is where things get interesting. So you can actually put here Control Shift alternate and P. So when I press Control Shift alternate P, it will enable Python. And then I'm going to highlight all this. Okay, so if just say you want to use describe or you want to put equal ABC, it's up to you. Okay, but what I want to show you right now is I want to show you that Python can also sort the data. So I'm going to write here sort values. So my dear friends, can you see sort values? If you can see sort values, can you type number 7 in the chat box, or can you show thumbs up actually? You can also show thumbs up if you can see sort values. All right, so I'm going to show sort values. Okay, what I want to sort is I actually want to sort the RM. Okay, I want to sort the RM and I want to actually maybe sort in a descending order. So I'm going to put here open bracket, and then what I'll do is I'll put the apostrophe RM. Okay, you might be wondering where I get the RM. The RM is header of the column, and then comma. So if just say I want to put in a descending format, so I put here ascending equivalent to false. Why equivalent to false? Because I don't want the ascending to be is sorted to be smallest to largest. So I put ascending equals to false. That means it will sort the data in a descending form. And then after that, close bracket. So it will sort the data in descending. But what if just say I want to do the top 5? Okay, so I put here head. Head means is the top 5 and control enter. So now if they say I expand this, you will notice that it will show us the top 5 data. Okay, it will show us the top 5 data. But now you might be wondering, why year 18, 20, 21 to 13? The Python, it will read the data in a different format. So now let me show you. You see, Python will not recognize this as a row number 1. In Python, it will start the sequencing from 0, 0, 1, 2. So if you see here 2 broadcasting 75374 is the same thing over here. Okay, let me just put it over here. So this data is the one of the top 5. Okay, then let me just plus this so that everybody can understand. Okay, so next thing is number 13, ticket attendance 74. So number 13 is over here, 74312. So I just put this yellow color. And then 18, 20, 20, 21, and also here. So 18, 20, 20, 21. So I'll just highlight this and also highlight this. So these are actually the top 5 items. So you might be wondering, what is the sequence? In Python, they will not start counting from the header. The Python will not start counting from the header. The Python will start counting from the first row. The Python will start counting from the first row, but it will not start from number 1. The index will start from 0. The index will start from 0. So my dear friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show thumbs up? Okay. So this is actually, so let me just go back to my slide. So I got a shift issue this. Okay, so let me just remove this, and also I got also tissue this. So interestingly, Python also can actually show a filter. That means if just say we want to filter price, or we want to actually filter more than a particular value, Python can also offer that as well. So now in this case, what I'll do is I'll just going to copy these formulas. Okay, so I'll just go here, equal py, and I want to highlight all this. Right, so I must highlight the table, and then what I'll do is I'll just put a special bracket. Okay, and the same thing, I'm going to highlight this. But if you just say you want to use df abc, it's up to you. As a beginner, I'm showing you so that you can get the gist of it. And then what I want to do is I actually want to filter a particular data. I want to filter the segment, because here we have the segment. I want to filter the segment showing price. So what I'll do is I'll just show the special bracket. Okay, so put here special bracket, right, segment. Okay, you must put here apostrophe, special apostrophe, then special bracket. And then what I'll do is I have to write 2 equal. If just say you put 1 equal, and then you just write here price, because I want to filter price only. And I close apostrophe, and then what I'll do is I'll close the special bracket. So if just say you put 1 equal, you will have error. So you need to put 2. So what I'll do is I press Ctrl Enter. When I press Ctrl Enter, like I told you, you will have an error. Why? Because they want you to put 2 equal instead of 1. So what I'll do is I'll put here 2 equal, Ctrl Enter. So in this case, it will actually show you a data frame or table that has price only. So my friends, can you see the difference? So if just say I want broadcasting. So what I'll do is I'll write here broadcasting. So you have to make sure the spelling and the case is correct. And just like that, it will show you broadcasting. And what is this 0247? 0247. That means the arrangement of each listing. So my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show thumbs up? Okay. And interestingly, so it can also filter the data. Maybe if you don't want like more than 10,000, you want more than 50,000. What you can actually do is you can actually put here RM. So I'm going to select here RM. And then what I'll do is I will actually, instead of putting equal, I can put here greater than, just say I put here 50,000. Okay, 50,000. Control Enter. So here will show us the data, whatever that is greater than 50,000. If just say you put here 90,000, it also will filter data, whichever that is more than 90,000. Okay, so my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show thumbs up? Okay, so to just let you know, I know what I teach you maybe is difficult to absorb the information and so on. Don't worry. The notes I'll give to you. Okay, so this is actually the notes or the simple Python codes. So the purpose of this education is to actually make you understand how we can use Python to do a simple data analysis. Okay, maybe the next class, I will actually teach you on how we can actually use Python. Okay, wait, let me show the next notes. So in the next notes, I will actually show you like how we can prepare a pivot table. We can also prepare a pivot chart. Okay, something like this. We can use Python to prepare a plotting chart, an interesting chart. It can be a cumulative sum. Okay, or we can put some titles, some cleaning using Python. Maybe that one I'll cover to the next class. But in this particular session, I will show you a simple dedicated Python analysis, simple data analysis using Python. And I just to let you know, maybe I'll just show you. So you can actually refer to my LinkedIn. Wait, let me just put my LinkedIn. So in LinkedIn, I got also share a video. Okay, wait, let me just click it over here. All right, so I'll just show the videos, whatever videos that I use Python. So basically, I got two different videos on Python. Okay, my dear friends, can you see the screen? If you can see the screen, can you show thumbs up? Okay, so here I got show you the videos on Python actually. So if just see you forget, no worries, you can refer over here. Interestingly, I got also share the notes. So if you just say you see here, we have the notes like what is this table, what they read, what is described, what is RM described, what is sum, what is employee name, what is value count, and so on. So this one I'll explain everything using the same data. And I also have the notes. Okay, so if just say you are not able to capture the notes, so the notes is already here. Control Shift Alternate P is the keyboard shortcut for Python. When highlighting the data, you cannot do Control A. You need to press Control Shift down, Control Shift right, and everything over here. Okay, so we have the notes over here, or you can also go to my YouTube channel. So in my YouTube channel, let me just show you. Where is my channel? Wait. Okay, but of course you can also follow CRISPO channel. CRISPO one is we have the entire webinar. But if you're talking about Python, you can refer over here. So we have two different videos. Okay, both also same, but it's a different database. Okay, the beauty is this one is less than 5 minutes, it's faster. This one I won't suggest you to watch because it's more than 5 minutes. Of course, time is money. What I'll suggest is, okay, if just say I click it over here. Okay, so over here also I have a description, as you can see over here. So here we have the notes and so on. So my friends, do you understand? If you understand, maybe can you show some thumbs up emoji? Okay, so otherwise I'll pass the floor to Crispo. But if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, so what is the advantage of using Python over Panda? Python in Excel is already integrated in Excel. So since it's already in Excel, you can actually analyze the data easily. Okay, so wait, let me just answer the chat box. So in the chat box, you notice there are questions. So let me answer the first question first. Okay, there is a question by Henry Gowo. Always asks why we need to highlight the table. Yes, we can actually save the table as DF. We can save the table as ABC. But why I highlight is my intention is to actually show what is the codes like describe, sum, value count, and so on. What is the potential benefit of using Python in Excel? The data that we have most cases is in Excel. So we can actually use Python, not only like today's class is data analysis. In the upcoming class, I can actually teach you all how we can prepare a chart in Python. We can also use data cleaning. That means we want to remove duplicates. We want to do some cleaning. We can also use Python as well. Okay. I answered the question. I mean, Osorio, let me know if I answer your question. And then let me go to the next by Agarwal. Agarwal also I will say the same thing. That means in your Python, you can prepare chart, you can do data cleaning. What I cover today is a very simple one, which is beginner. That means you do data analysis. Okay, next is Melissa. Melissa, recap how to add Python in Excel. Okay, so Melissa, just to let you know, let me share screen. Python is only available in the latest version. Okay, let me just go to my screen. So if you are using Excel 365, you will have Python. Okay, not in MacBook. Excel MacBook doesn't have Python. I'm talking about Excel 365, not 2016, not 2019, not 2021. So if just say you still have 365, you still have version 2.5 current channel, what I'll suggest to you is you need to update. Once you update, of course, it will take some time. You need to close your Excel file. It will take some time. Even my data so initially was not updated. So once update, you will eventually have your Python. So Melissa, did I answer your question? Okay, maybe you can just type yes or no. No worries. I can also clarify again. Okay, now let me just go to the next question. Yes, we can create chart as well. But it's not the same way. It's also there will be some code. So I'll just reply to Gladys. Gladys, just give me a moment. I'll just reply to you. Okay, so this is the code you can use, Gladys. All right, so I got answer your question. And are the DF in Excel converted into Excel table, or we need to convert to table? Okay, the data frame in Excel, it means it's already a table. You don't need to convert to a table format. The table format means like not press Control T or so on. As long it has a database which has columns, which has rows, it should be fine. Okay, so I'll answer the questions right now. Okay, maybe let me start with the first question. So this one, I'll just reply. Okay, so that everyone can see. Don't worry, if you have any questions, you can unmute or you can type your questions in the chat box. So why you must always highlight the table? Okay, this is because my intention is to teach the Python code. To teach Python codes like what is describe, what is value count, and so on. Okay, you can put df or abc as a variable. Okay, this is one. And then the next question by who else? Wait, let me see. Okay, what's the potential benefits? Same thing by two questions. Let me reply this. So this one is basically you can do data cleaning, data analysis. Our class today we focus on data analysis. That means it can provide describe, it can go describe a particular column, it can show aggregate, it can show value count, and so on. Okay, so this one I got answer. But let me know if you don't understand. Okay, can we create chart? I got answer Gladys. And yeah, so this one also I'll answer again, not necessary. So this one, as long the table has columns and rows should be fine. Okay. Yes, you can actually combine Python and Excel formula. Yes, you can actually plus, minus, and so on. You can do that. All right.
Okay,
yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. If you want to Gladys, you can unmute yourself. If you want to speak or anyone has a question, please unmute yourself. I think it's much faster if you talk. As they unmute themselves, Ellen, I had a question. Is there a way to reference the Python resort, like the way you can reference dynamic field?
Okay. Sorry, I can't hear your question. Sorry, what's your question?
Yes, you know the way you can be able to reference dynamic functions field using the hashtag. Is there a way to reference the results of a Python function?
Yeah, I think you can also link to the cell as well, Crispo. Okay, that means like if you want to link, yeah, you can link also. Just
and then it will be able to spill everything from one cell.
Sorry, I don't get your question. That means you want to put in split into one cell. What do you mean?
No, you see the way if I want to reference the results of a dynamic function.
Oh, okay, dynamic function.
Yes. So I just need to reference on that one cell, and then I put the hashtag, and then everything. I don't have to highlight everything for that
correct,
result.
correct. Exactly. Yeah. You don't have to highlight. You just put like df, anything, it will work.
Okay. So how like the results that you did with group by, if I want to reference everything, how do I reference that?
Okay, so for example, let me just show you. Okay, so I highlight all this and I press, maybe I'll put here AB first, A, B, C, D, equal, control enter. And then you can actually link it over here. That means you put here BY, and then you can just link it. This data over here, and then yeah, from here you can just show.
Okay.
Yeah. So did I answer your question? Is this what you're asking for? That means you can link it over here. You can actually link to the particular cell. Because instead of because just now, if you notice, I have been highlighting the table, right? If just say initially, the intention is actually to show our friends what is described, what is sum, what is aggregate. But of course, in future, you can actually use ABCD, or you can also link directly to the cell. So Crispo, is that the question that, did I answer your question?
Yeah, true. My other question is,
Go ahead.
Python functions, they don't show arguments like Excel functions, do they?
Correct. Yes, correct. They don't show argument. But the beauty is, okay, you see, they don't show, like, see, you might be wondering, what is argument? Okay, for a beginner, argument is something written over here, like lookup value, table array, column index number, range lookup. Like what Python, Crispo mentioned, in Python, we never show the argument. So just say I click over here. Okay, I put full stop. Over here, you can refer. So how I studied initially is I asked Google, like, what is described, what is heads, what is so on. So like what Crispo mentioned is, if just say I type here describe, it never put us the argument, like they never write over here. But of course, we in today's world, we have AI, so we can actually ask ChatGPT, or we can ask DeepSeek to actually to understand what is described, to understand what is heads and so on. Okay, but of course you can put your cursor over here, and your cursor over here will show you like what it includes. That means it includes the percentiles, the list, the literal, and so on. So if just say I put here maybe the head. Okay, so if I put my cursor over here, eventually it will show you what is the head means. The head means is the top data, the first 3 rows, and so on. So this is the only argument that you can refer. So Crispo, did I answer your question?
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Anyone else with a question? Abdallah, I'm very sure you have a question.
Wow, Abdallah is very good. He's expert in Power Query and Python. I'm a big fan of Abdallah. I've been watching Abdallah. He's good in mQuery. Yes. He's a subject matter expert. I'm just new to Python and Power Query, but Abdallah, I really admire your work, especially on mQuery. Yeah.
Abdallah, do you have anything to add? I don't think he is there. Thank you for the session, Ellen. I'm sure I cannot call myself a dummy anymore. At least now I have an idea of what is happening, and looking forward to the next session.
Yeah, but I think in the meantime, Osorio is typing, so I don't know, there's a question or yeah, but maybe we can just wait for a while. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, it's just a thank you. But yeah, nevertheless, if you have any questions, you can ask. Don't worry. I understand that when I teach, maybe you might not have a full understanding, but you can actually refer to my YouTube channel. I'm not asking you to subscribe and so on. Of course, you can subscribe, Crispo.
Okay, people should subscribe.
But actually, Python relies on method and attributes.
Okay. You can share your link on the chat so that people can subscribe.
Definitely. So so what you can do is I'm just going to copy this and I'll share in the chat box so that everyone can see, because in the description there is the notes. Okay, so okay, so this is over here, and Python relies on method. And let me show you my other LinkedIn also so that everybody can actually wait. Let me just copy this. Where is it? Okay, so let me copy this link. Okay, so this link has all the notes, so you can actually refer here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I teach you today is a very simple basic data analysis using Python. So there are about more than 10 different codes that I write. You don't have to memorize anything, so at least you know what is described, you know what is value count, you know what is head, what is tail. Okay, of course, this session is recorded. It will be uploaded in YouTube. You can refer that as well. Or you can actually WhatsApp me if you have certain clarification or inquiries.